We have Jessica Delatina. Whoops. We have Jessica Delatina, and she's going to be doing some products for us. So let's hear it for Jessica. Jessica, take it away.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and good evening to everyone. I don't know if there's anybody from around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and thank you for having me to introduce some of the a couple products here that are some of my favorites. Actually, a lot of the Atomy products are my favorites, so I can't really choose. But anyhow, these are sometimes not so well known, so I just want to share with you guys. But before I start that, my name is Jessica Delatina, Sales Master. I am based here in Pennsylvania. So without further ado, I'm going to show you one of my favorites. I said it's very rare things. People, you don't see this much in like YouTubes and anything. So I'm trying to introduce to you one of the best products that Atomy has, and that is the Atomy MediCook. Okay, so because me, I love cooking. Well, I love food too. That's true. So, but first, let us go back. Like, let's, in our everyday lives, how often do we buy pots and pans? Okay, and normally, according to NBC News, I researched it online. A lot of people tend to buy new pots and pans every 5 years. And you know how much they cost, like average? They're like average maybe $75, maybe for the set, but you know, imagine $75 every time, every 5 years. If it's much more cheaper, if you got it for cheap or something, sometimes you have to change it every 2 years. So let's just say you bought it for $20 or something. Imagine every 2 or 3 years you buy a new one. That would add up to like a couple $100, maybe 800, even 1,000. So sometimes it's a good investment to choose a proper pots and pans. So what do you look for a proper pan? So first and foremost, these are the qualities you should look for. Number one, and priority, which is a priority, safe and non-toxic should be. So you have to choose pots and pans that are made of materials that are stainless steel or anodized aluminum that don't react with food, meaning it has to be materials that when it comes to contact with food, the metal doesn't mix in with your food or change the flavor or the molecular or chemical component of your food. So it has to be, non-reactive. So stainless steel and anodized aluminum should be the material touching your food. Number two, look for heavy gauge materials, meaning make sure that the material itself is very thick, because, I've seen like very cheap pots, and then you just drop it and it puts a dent. So heavy gauge pans deliver more heat evenly. So the more pan there is to heat, the more mass, the more the heat the pan can hold. And then there's constant heat for better cooking. So saves your energy. Your food will cook faster. Because if you have a thinner gauge, some parts of your food are still cooking and some is already done. So then your food's not partially done, partially cooked, which is not good. Then you'll spend more time cooking. More time means more energy, and that's also costs money. Number three, it should be made of good conductor materials, meaning it should be responsive to heat. Like, for example, it also has to be having aluminum and copper because they're easily heats up. And it should have a fast heat flow. It disseminates the heat in your pan, so it cooks your food faster. Again, faster cooking, less energy, and it cooks your food evenly. So these are the three materials, but my number one priority is usually safe and non-toxic. So as you all know, Atomy has this wonderful product called MediCook, and it comes in different sizes, by the way. So first and foremost, we have the 3.3 liters sauce pot. So as you can see, very sleek design. It has like a nice handle, and here and there on the lid and also on the sides. and you don't see any screws or holes in it. And even the lid here has a good seal. You don't see it, you don't see that as much in other pots and pans. So sometimes you see a little crack there and you'll see all the steam coming out when you're cooking. But here it's different. So we have the 3.3 sauce pot. We have the 5.5 sauce pot, which is a bigger one. So you could cook a little bit more, like some broth, some soup, a good spaghetti meal for the whole family. And we also have the frying pan. So the frying pan also is like made of the same material, which we're going to talk about in a couple minutes. And of course, my favorite of all, it's a multifunctional, is the 5.4 liter wok, 32 centimeters, which is, so you could do the stir frying, and then we have also the steamer attachment, and also you could do deep frying here too, because it has the drip, attachment there. So you would say, like, why choose Atomy Medicook? So here are the reasons why. Number one, of course, is absolute quality, absolute price. It's made up by this company. So Atomy has teamed up with this Dongwon company that actually exports world luxury brands. So it's really a luxury item, but it's really a good investment for a pan, because now instead of buying every 2 to 3 years, every 5 years, new pots and pans, this is your pot for your whole life. Like, it would last a lifetime. So it's really good quality. So why is Atomy Medicook a better quality pots and pans? It's made up of 5-layer, 3.5 millimeter thick pot. Remember the qualities we said? It has to be heavy gauge, right? So it is already heavy gauge. It's a 5-layered, 3.5 thick layered pot. And it has high thermal conductivity, and we'll show you why in the next slide, because it's made up of 5 layers. So what are these 5 layers? So the 5 layers, so the inner layer is made up of stainless steel, 316 stainless steel, and then the middle layers are composed of 3 different types of aluminum layers. So 1, 2, 3, the middle one is aluminum, and the outside is another magnetic stainless steel. So remember, the number one quality of a good pan is that it's just to be safe and non-toxic. And what was that? Materials that are non-reactive to food. One of them is stainless steel and anodized aluminum. So if you can see, the inner part here that touches our food is stainless steel. So the inner lining is safe and non-toxic. So even how much whatever food you're there, especially acidic food react with metal, but it has to be cooked in a non-reactive material, which is our pot, our Medicook is stainless steel. It's poor conductor of heat, but it is easy to clean and it's non-reactive to food. Now, if you can see, they also created that the aluminum, the 3 layers of is inside. It's sandwiched between the 2 stainless steels. And it's because aluminum is a top-notch heat conductor. So it heats up the pan real fast. So it cooks faster and evenly. So, but of course, aluminum is it's not a you don't want the aluminum to touch your food, because aluminum can react with food. So it has to be inside and the stainless steel outside. So, and what's the purpose of this magnetic steel on the outside? Well, as you all know, mostly typical stainless steel, we use it for our usual cookery, like gas range, the hot plate, the electric range, and the halogen range. However, we have this new contraption, new appliance called induction range that would only work with a magnetic stainless steel lining. So if you use an ordinary pots and pans to an induction range, it would not warm up because it has to be magnetic. So our Medicook is so versatile. If you have a gas range, you have the hot plate, the electric, or the induction range, it would work for all across different kinds of appliances. Unlike the regular pots, it would only work for the first 4, won't work on the induction range. So we could really kind of, show this to your friends who are like, oh, I have this fancy new appliance, induction range. I have to buy special kind of pots and pans. And of course, they're expensive, but they don't last that long. Ours are like your pot. It's your, your pots and pans for life. You don't, you won't even probably need to buy any more for the next 20, 30 years, maybe, or more. And it could also, because there's no plastic or anything there that would melt, you could even, like, how you like cook on the top first, and then you put it down the oven. You could do that with our Medicook, same thing. And it's also dishwasher safe. So it's really, really very like versatile with all different just ranges. And it has all this, again, it's non-toxic, and it also has good heat conducting capabilities. And the stainless steel they use is the one that they use for, the surgical instruments that the surgeons use, and sometimes the implants in the body. So it's really safe. So even if you implant in the body, 316 stainless steel is non-toxic. It does not interact with your body. So that's why they use that one. So it's really like really tough and really durable. And again, very hygienic, sturdy handle. And some of the bigger pots have that little convenient measuring. So you don't even have to use your measuring. So it's very stylish. And the one thing I love about it, you can make healthy food or cook something with no water or low oil. So which makes your food healthy, because you don't need to put a lot of oil or a lot of water in it, and then your vitamins from your food is gone. It's using what we call the vapor seal effect, because as you can, what's a vapor seal effect is what we call a waterless cooking. So it helps save precious minerals and vitamins when you're cooking, and preserves the enzymes by cooking below the boiling point. So how do you use the Medicook real quick here? The important thing is use when you have to prep it. So first, before you cook anything, you put the pot, you put it on a medium heat, not high. Okay, low to medium heat, preferably medium, mid-low heat. Okay, don't put in a high. Some people like, oh, let me put it in the pan and put it in a high heat. No, it doesn't work that way. So put the pan on with a lid on medium heat. Then how do you know if your pot is ready to cook? Okay, how do you cook it? You basically grab like water and sprinkle on it, and if the water evaporates, it's not ready yet. I'll show you. I have a little video here of how I did with minimal oil and no water added. And then if you drop the water, it makes those little circles, then it's ready to do your cooking. Okay. So if you see a lot of, also when you're cooking, if it's a lot of steam, meaning it's too hot, you have to lower down your heat. So here's an example. I made some beef with broccoli with waterless cooking. So I'm gonna turn on the video real quick, okay? So I had it on low heat, and then I open it up. So I dropped some water in it. So once I see it turns into a circle, you'll see it, then it's ready. So see, it's dancing around. That's the Linden Frost effect. So what I did, I just added a little bit, a spray of cooking oil, and I just added some beef, some, onions and some garlic, and just covered it. That's it. I did not even put a lot of oil. I just sprayed a little bit of oil, and that's it. And then, I'm showing the time there. Let it be for a while. Then I open up. So as you can see, it already drawn the water out of the beef itself. So, and it's cooking under its own juice, basically. Of course, I wash the beef before I put it in, and kind of when you wash the meat or something, I use like a filtered water, and then drain most of it out, and then put the meat in. So I just mixed it a little bit, and then put some spices in it, some salt and everything. And then see, I didn't add any water in it. It just kind of draw the water from itself. And I just added the veggies too. I didn't even add water too. So I'm just gonna so what it does, the lid covers it, and the seal is so tight that it cooks under its own steam. So that's what we call the vapor seal method, or waterless cooking. And then there it is. It's done. So that's the waterless cooking. So here's another one because it has the wok I use has like the steamer attachment. So you could cook dumplings on the top while you're cooking ramen down the bottom. So saving time and effort at the same time. So you could cook a whole 2 different meals at the same time. So that's one thing. And here's another rice cakes that I made. So that's one of my favorite products, the Medicook. Of course, you know, I love food too. There's a couple food products that I also like to share with you, and that is the Manuka honey. And Manuka is also very nutritious and very wonderful. And it's, you know, honey is it's a very nice sweet food. So what is honey? Honey is a sweet, thick liquid made by honeybees, and it makes from the nectar from the flowers where the bees harvest. So a lot of things, sugar, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, iron, zinc, and antioxidants. So usually honey has anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antibacterial agent, but can also be a natural sweetener. People use it to sweeten things up. But there's like 320 different varieties of honey, which vary in color, odor, and flavor. But most of it all has anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antibacterial agents. So a lot of people use it as a health supplement. So there's a wonderful product now called Manuka honey, because, you know, before we don't know all these different kinds of honey. Honey is honey, we always say. But now we know there's some, if you know, it's just like there's a moderate class, you know, like economy class, there's a business class, and then we have a first class. Manuka honey is sort of the premium first class of the honey, basically, because it can only be found, it's a type of honey that originates only in Australia and New Zealand because it's produced by the bees that pollinate flowers of this plant called Leptospermum. And that's only found in Australia and New Zealand. And of course, it has antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties. Now, Manuka is considered as a monofloral, meaning the bees only get the nectar from one kind of flower. All the other honeys that we see, that we buy in the supermarket, is multi or polyflora, meaning they get it from different flowers. Because of this, the Manuka honey has higher antibacterial effects, 100 times higher than traditional honey. So what are the benefits of Manuka honey? Again, disclaimer, this was just prepared for educational purposes and does not intend to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, okay? Just a disclaimer. So research has found out that Manuka can help treat with wounds. Sometimes they use this to help prevent infection, and even the US FDA has approved Manuka honey for wound treatment. So they use this to treat wounds, to help the wound healing. They also help with oral health. So sometimes they found out that Manuka honey can help protect against dental plaque buildup. Also may help sore throat. So normally when we have sore throat, we take a spoonful of honey and that seems to help with our throat. Well, it's because it helps with inflammation. It fights bacteria and reduces the inflammation in there. They did actual research and showed that the honey have decreased the bacteria called Streptococcus mutans, which causes sore throat. This is actually according to research. May also help with gastric ulcers. There's some research that says that taking honey can increase the gastric levels of enzymes that help protect your stomach from damage. This may help people with their gastric ulcers condition. And some research have shown that it may help with treat acne because it can hydrate, decrease inflammation, and make the skin bacteria-free. So some people put it in their face directly. Remember, it sometimes helps with wound healing too. So this is according to the research that some of the scientists have done. And why is it? Because Manuka is special because of this material. This is the active ingredient, the methyl glycosol or MGO of the, let me just move my thing because I can't read my thing here. My methyl glycosol, I could never say it. MGO It's the natural component compound in honey. So all honeys do that, but in Manuka, it's really higher concentration, or MGO is higher concentration. And again, the Manuka also has like the economy class, the business class, and then the first class. So normally what you see that's kind of, oh, I see a cheap Manuka honey in the supermarket. That's because it has very low MGO. It's still good. It's better than the traditional honey, but the more you go up higher, the higher your MGO is. Let's say, MGO 830, the more you are first class, super premium, high class, the best of the best, basically. And of course, what about our Manuka honey from Atomy? Look at that, 830 plus. It's the best of the best of everything. And what makes it also special, aside from getting the highest amount of MGO, it's authentically sourced from Australia, and it's of course certified. So it's highest quality, the way from the research, from seedlings, making sure they really plant the plant that the bees go for. They just don't let the bees go out and do their thing. They put it in a environment. They plant the plants that the bees can harvest the nectar. And the Manuka honey from Atomy has marks of authenticity. Oh my gosh, I could not spell. It's been authorized by the Australian leading Manuka scientists as being really pure. They really tested it to make sure that it's, because some Manuka honey in the market, they sometimes mix it with other stuff, so it's not really pure. But ours is really certified. A lot of certification bodies right here. It's halal, and there's all other BRC certification. It's really, Australia is very proud of their product, so they put a lot of restrictions. Like they kind of like, okay, nobody could sell anything that says Manuka honey unless it's really gone through our inspection. So they really do that. And ours is one of the top, authentic Manuka honey. So of course, absolute quality, absolute price. I checked this online, how much the Manuka honey from other companies, and look at the prices. I blocked out the brands just to, but look at that, $94, $87.50. How much is our Atomy Manuka honey? It's only $73, and it's the same amount. So we get the same high price, top-notch Manuka honey for a lower price, and you get points towards your commission. Okay, so 32,000 points. See that? So how do you take Manuka? Of course, you could do it like put it in, put in a teaspoon and then consume it before eating food or drink, like a little spoonful of of honey, or you could mix it with water or juice. Now take note, never mix it with boiling liquids, or the heat would sterilize the honey and it will take away all the antimicrobial properties. So don't mix it in hot boiling water. Warm water, okay, but not boiling hot, or else the honey will just, the antimicrobial is gone. What else? If you have sore throat, again, you could put it in a teaspoon and drink it, or you could mix it with some warm water and lemon juice. Or sometimes what I do, I put honey and I put a little bit of lemon also, a squeeze of lemon, and then I just kind of drink it like a cough syrup or something. Also can be a soothing bedtime drink with milk. You warm up the milk, make sure it's cooled down a bit. Don't let it be too boily. And then you mix Manuka honey, and then, or with the milk. Or you could do it also, same thing with the herbal tea. Make sure it's cooled down and then add the honey. Okay. Or you could do it as a salad dressing. So you could do salad dressing with Manuka honey, vinegar and oil, or Manuka honey with sesame oil and some spices. Or you could do it Manuka honey with citrus juice, lemon, lime, and olive oil. Shake it, and that's your wonderful salad dressing. Okay. And you could also add it to your oatmeal, to your pancakes, to your yogurt, to anything what you want. And then and you could also use it as a sweetener in baked goods. So here are just samples. Some people can substitute that for these the flavor because it's the manuka honey strong. But remember, because we're baking it, we're zapping. If you only want the flavor and not antimicrobial, you could use the manuka honey for baking. But if you want it for like the antibacterial, then don't use don't bake it or don't use the hot. This is just for flavoring basically. So that's how you use the manuka honey. Now there's a caution though, okay? So caution for honey because it has pollen. It's not suitable with people with pollen allergy. So if you have allergies to bees, pollen allergy, then don't take any honey, of course, including manuka. It's also not suitable for infants 12 months or below because of it can cause infant botulism infection. Of course, if you're diabetic, just be careful because of course it is sweet. It's still considered as a sugar, so it might boost your sugar up. So you have to be careful. And of course, if you are having adverse effects, side effects of it, if you're, of course, then don't take manuka honey. And these are my resources. And then one more last, but a little short PowerPoint. Of course, after the cooking and after the eating, you feel full. So what help your body digest the food that you just ate? Okay, and this is Apr26. Again, disclaimer is just for education, not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Okay, so what is Apr26? So first, before we do that, we think about it. What is a digestive enzyme? So digestive enzymes are substances in our body that help break down the food into nutrients. So it's small enough for our body to absorb, because if it's still, solid, your body cannot absorb it. It's like a tree. How do you make a tree into a house? You can't just pull up a tree and make it into a house. You have to cut it into pieces and make it into little 2x4s, 4x4 logs or planks or whatever. Then you can make the house. So same thing with our body. We have to break down the food in order for us to use it. So of course, the main things that we eat are carbohydrates, protein, and fats. So carbohydrates, we have to break it down. We use these enzymes called amylase, lactase. These are just some. And then when you break this up into smaller pieces, it becomes simple sugars. So then the body could absorb it. If you eat your chicken, your meat, how does your body utilize the nutrients there? Of course, they have to break it down to smaller pieces by using the enzymes like pepsin, trypsin, and peptidase. Break it down so it's small enough to go in through your stomach, into your intestines, absorb into your bloodstream. Same deal with the fats. It's broken down by the lipase so that it will be absorbed by your body. Now, some foods are naturally have digestive enzymes. Our body has natural digestive enzymes too, but sometimes it's not enough. These are some of the foods that have digestive enzymes. Pineapple, papaya, this is mango, not mango. Banana, avocado, kimchi, miso, and kiwi fruit. But not all the time we eat all this food, because not all the time pineapple, papaya, mango is available all the time. And sometimes you can't eat the mango, pineapple, and other stuff, because you have to eat it right away or else it gets spoiled. So why do we need digestive enzymes? Because sometimes we are unable to get enough foods that with natural occurring enzymes. Sometimes there's no pineapple, there's no papaya or mango in the supermarket. Okay. And if there is, you have to eat it fast. If there is, it's also expensive. Why do we also need digestive enzymes? Because there are some certain conditions that can lower digestive enzymes. Food allergies, if you have low stomach acid, if you have certain conditions like some issues with your pancreas, chronic stress, aging. Have you noticed before when you were young, you could eat anything, nothing bothers your stomach? Now you just eat something and you're like, ugh, I think I'm having indigestion. Have you noticed that? Yeah, I noticed that already too. When I was young, nah, anything I put in my mouth, I'm fine. Now I eat something and I'm like, oh, what did I eat? It's like, I regret it now. So that's why sometimes we need extra help, extra supplement. Now, if the food's not properly digested in your gut, it causes digestion. Because what happens? The food remains in your stomach. And when it's not, it stays in your stomach, it rots in your stomach. which is good, bad. It's just like, have you seen your food rot in the garbage can? Imagine that in your stomach. That's awful. It's gross. So what happens when that happens? If the food rots in your stomach because the food is not digested, it causes stomach pain, bloating, gas, acid reflux, and diarrhea. So of course, Atomy is providing us with a supplement that can help us out. So we don't need to go find some papayas, mangoes somewhere, in grocery stores or whatever. We already have our Atomy Finezyme. What is Atomy Finezyme? It's a pineapple flavored food supplement made up of pineapple powder with bromelain. Bromelain is the active ingredient of pineapple powder, which has enzymes, plus vitamins, B1, pantothenic acid, biotin, 2, coenzymes, and 3, more digestive enzyme. So bromelain actually is an enzyme in pineapple that break down proteins, and it's actually categorized as a dietary supplement and recognized safe by the U.S. Food Drug and FDA to help with this regard, like as the digestive enzymes. So if taken with meals, it aids in digestion. And they say if you take it on an empty stomach, it helps with inflammation. These are just some of the benefits from bromelain. I'm gonna talk, but mostly it's anti-inflammatory and analgesic effects, and it helps with digesting the food. So what are the ingredients that we said? Number 1 was vitamin B1. B1 is needed by our body to boost metabolism and for healthy digestion. Okay. Another one is pantothenic acid. Same thing. It helps activate and transport nutrients from our breaking down the food so that we could generate energy. We could use it for energy. Same deal with biotin. So these 3 vitamins can help support digestion, absorption of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, and generation of energy. So that's the number one main ingredient of our Finezyme, aside from the pineapple powder. And our Finezyme also, number 2, has what we call coenzyme. What is coenzyme? What it actually is, it's that the enzyme is inactive. If it's there, it just sits there. It's just like your car. If your car is just there. But would the car run by itself? No. You have to bring your key and then start the car so that the car would run. Okay, so it does its work to transport. So same thing with enzyme. The enzyme won't break down the food unless you have the coenzyme. So it needs the coenzyme. It's the key. Then once the coenzyme attaches itself to the enzyme, it becomes the whole enzyme. Now it can activate the enzyme and break down the food. So of course, Atomy has thought about it. So aside from the enzymes, it added the coenzymes like thiamine, the biocytin, and the CoA that would activate with the vitamins and the enzymes to help break down the food that you just ate. Okay, so these are the coenzymes. So it will activate the enzymes, the digestive enzymes. Of course, it also has 9 additional digestive enzymes to add. The amylase, the protease. So amylase is for carbohydrates, protease for proteins, lipase for digest fats, cellulase to digest fiber, lactase to digest lactose. So for those who are lactose intolerant, there's already lactase in it, and bromelain to digest protein. So these are the 6 main, plus additional 3. The glucoamylase, invertase, and pancreatin. So these are also digestive enzymes that break down carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So 9 digestive enzymes plus the vitamins and the coenzymes make up our Finezyme. So of course, that was absolute quality. Now it's absolute price. It only costs $18.50 for 30 packets. So that would only make it 60 cents per packet. Imagine that. And that just to kind of help you out, because after you eat, especially after you eat, here are the who benefits from it, especially if you experience gas, bloating, and digestion after eating certain foods, or after eating at a party where you ate too much. If you need to take extra vitamin B1, pantothenic acid, biotin, want to increase, you want some, because you feel tired all the time, meaning you're not digesting your food. So you need something to digest your food so you get energy and maintain energy. And those under chronic stress, because remember, chronic stress can reduce your own digestive enzymes. We have our own. It decreases, but then it lowers when you have stress. And it also can be a dessert after a meal. I like it because sometimes if you taste like when you eat something that's you just grab a fine zyme and you have already a dessert. You don't even have to buy another dessert. So it's really good for everybody. Of course, just the caution is that avoid if you're allergic to any of its ingredients. And of course, consult your doctor if you have any adverse reaction. If you're pregnant, nursing, or taking other medications, please consult your doctor before you take it. And these are my resources. And that's it for those three products for today.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Jess.
Great job.
It's really great. So, okay, I'm gonna take over from Oshuk. Sorry, I'm late. So now I open for question and answer. I think this is really important because there's all the great product from Atomy. I just want to comment a little bit about the Vine Zyme. I love the Vine Zyme. I carry all the time. I like to eat. So I take I take all the most of the vitamin like vitamin C. I have my what's that, the omega-3. I have a
Probiotics.
lutein. I have a lot. But I love the probiotic and Vine Zyme. I combine that like like a Vine Zyme. I take that one after I eat because like I said, I eat a lot sometimes. Like today, like now, I forgot. I almost forgot that meeting because my friend invited me to the dinner party. So I said, okay, I have to go, and I eat a lot. So in on the way, I take my Vine Zyme. And in the morning I took my probiotic. It's really good. It's like my digest, I feel so good to take all the vitamin. Okay, so anybody has a question, you can raise your hand. We have all the expert in here. Anybody? Okay, so Kelly, go Kelly.
Hi, everyone. Wow. I sent out some texts before this because it's such a treat. We have such great professionals, having Nurse Jessica here. Look at the research she does for us. I mean, she's just a light of information. Every time I watched her or Lynn or, somebody that takes all that time, Josie, everybody present a product and just take the same information that's on the website and also some other additional background. I'm just so impressed. And you're right, the Manuka honey and the Fine Zyme are absolutely fantastic. I love that you went over the enzymes in the little packet here because you can take these out and you give them to people. Okay, it's so affordable. These are on the go, and people always say, oh, do you have any samples? Do you have any this? I love taking a couple vitamin C's, probiotics, a couple of these, and a couple packs of HemoHim and tell them to mix it together and take it. Never mind the honey. The honey, I'm at the bottom of this one, but this lasted me almost 3 months. This is not sweet. Compared to the multi-flowered honey and even the local and native honey, this honey is so superior. This honey is sunny sweet without that sugar taste. It's the best tasting honey I've ever tasted in my life. I do mostly put it just not even a full tablespoon. All you need is a little bit of a drizzle. I put it on all different kinds of things. Instead of maple syrup, use just a little bit of this, okay, and fruit. I love this honey. I can't say enough, but Jessica, your research, I'm just so impressed. And when you have the confidence of knowledge gives you power. And so action also gives you results. So you could take a screenshot and share it to someone. You don't need to explain it all. And this video will get posted by David in the Boston Global Center. So if you go to Atomy and say Atomy space BGC, Boston Global Center, this will be on YouTube, and you can send this to somebody. All right. And they're going to want the product. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Okay,
Kelly.
thank you. Thank you, Kelly. I think I saw the Myung or Lynn. Raise your hand. Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
I will go first.
yeah. Myung gotta
Jessica
go.
Delatina, excellent job, sales master, and all the detail want to try, but I try everything, and especially the wok, our medical wok. I use almost every night because they are pressure cooked. Because busy people like me, I only need about 15-20 minutes to cook before we join the meeting and stuff. It's just wonderful. You don't lose any nutrition, all the vegetable and a salmon, fish, or even sometimes the chicken. Just a wonderful meal, and you don't gain weight. You actually lose weight eating that steam. And one time with the fry pan, it got all burned. So I was kind of worried, but I soaking in the water. We use our stainless cleaner, came out like brand new. So you can burn much as you can, but it cleans like a brand new. It's just wonderful stainless. And with Manica honey, like Kelly said, you only need very little, but I wish more bigger. You know, to me, I take a whole spoon. Sometimes, you know, you're tired. I feel like I have some germ inside me because I deal with a lot of people. So when I feel kind of little sore, I just take a whole scoop of spoon and just take it, and it feels so much better. So thank you so much for all the great information, Jessica. Thank you.
Thank you, Myung.
Thank you. Okay, Lynn, go ahead, Lynn.
Well, Jessica, you know I love you, and everything that you say, you're always so genuine, and I trust your research because I know where you go for your sources, and they're very reliable. Just a couple of things. I have seen this wok. I haven't purchased it yet because I still wonder, I'd have to get into the habit of cooking that way because that's not how I cook. But that wok is like a piece of jewelry for your kitchen. It is the most gorgeous appliance I've ever seen. So it's not something that you have to worry about storing away. It'll be beautiful just sitting on top of your stove. So my question for you, Jessica, is when are you going to start giving us cooking classes?
I love the video.
I loved
Yeah.
that. And, you know, it's like, oh, wow, is that really all it takes? But I'd like to know what you do flavor your meals with or your vegetables with, because I always find that Asian vegetables have such good flavor that I can't get. I've never learned to cook them right. So yeah, so anytime you want to start a cooking class, you just say the word and we'll make it happen.
Oh, okay. I'll probably hire my husband. He's actually more the cook. I'm more of the baker and cake decorator. So, but for Asian cuisine, for that, I just, lots of garlic, lots of onion. Well, I used the onion flakes because I was too tired of cutting it, but you could actually use the chopped onion, oyster sauce, and then I did add the sesame oil towards the end just to kind of give that toasty sesame oil flavor. But that's basically it, and you just kind of adjust it to taste because some people like it a little bit more salty. You could add some more salt. Some people just like it as it is with the
So what's the
with oyster
flavor
sauce.
of oyster sauce? Is that a salty sauce?
It's like a salty, sweet-ish kind of.
You can use
Flavor.
hoisin sauce. You can use
Yeah.
soy sauce.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah,
you could
I
You
use
can
just-
use oyster sauce.
You know,
yeah.
I just have to say, I came from a French home, so those just aren't spices I grew up with, and I've tried cooking with soy sauce or teriyaki before, but I think I use too much because it doesn't have the delicate flavor that I can get in a restaurant, and that's what I'm looking for. So, but anyway, thank you for the cooking demo. That made my night. I'm gonna have to get that wok.
Lynn, I think
Definitely.
people like me, I don't know how to cook. So what I do, I just steam it. I put it on my plate. I just squish with the virgin oil, right? Olive oil, and our pink salt, little black pepper. That's it. It's so good, and your stomach is very calm. Not many spicy. A lot of time have a spice have a hiding fat and calorie and stuff, but I don't know. I like it very bland. It's really good for you.
Thank you. I'm gonna try that.
So you don't have to be
Okay.
so worried about the what seasoning you have to put it in or anything. Just put it in extra olive oil, little pink salt and black pepper. Done. So simple.
Well, I have to say, I'm a big fan of our avocado oil.
Yeah,
Um,
you can put in
that's-
avocado
Yeah,
oil
that's
too.
what I use for all of my
Yeah.
cooking now, and it's got a high heat point, so you never have to worry
Yes.
about smoking. or
Yes.
anything. So
Oh,
thank